Okay, so I've had a lot of people recently asking me to make a negotiations video on how to play this level correctly. So I'm going to show you all how to play this level correctly, depending on your heart counts on each player. There's no good way to always have the same amount of hearts entering the last room, so I'm going to show you, depending on your heart counts, what you should do in the last room. We'll just play the first room as normal. Player 1 forces the door. Player 2 goes through. Slams his first back to droids. Player 1 is guns down while player 2 kills all the droids. Kind of go through. So I would say right now I have a pretty garbage heart count, and I think most people would agree. I have 1 heart on player 1 and 4 hearts on player 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and play this rest of this room like normal. I should take at least 1 heart on player 1. And what I'm going to do with player 1, or on player 2 when I'm exiting the room. And what I'm going to do with player 1 is when I enter the hangar, I'm going to slash player 2, and I'm going to try and avoid getting hit from the first shot from the droids. Then I'll take a hit, and then I'll drop out. So we'll see if I can get that to work. So this. Heart. And here, I'm going to slash. Drop out. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but when I dropped out, you might have to go back and watch. But when I dropped out, there was... When you die in this game, you see how right now player 2 is missing 2 hearts, and so those hearts are quote-unquote ghosts. They're not there. When you die, you'll have 4 ghost hearts, essentially. As they start to respawn, you'll gain hearts back. And once you have all 4 of your hearts back, your player reappears. So if you have at least 3 hearts on player 1 when you drop out, right there I had none, so this doesn't matter. But if you have at least 3 hearts when you drop out, all you have to do is step on the button, the rightmost button, once, and he'll show up. If he has less than 3, you need to step on it twice. If he dies, like, right as you drop out, you need to step on that button 3 times, or he will not show up. So people who have been talking about him not showing up, that's why. Because there's all these situations that you need to be aware of when he's going to... how he's going to show up or not. So I'll show you what I mean. So... I'll do this, and then jump on the button, and then I pan my camera because I'm on double controller, but you would just force that, the other platform right there. And what I'm going to do here is, because I have 2 hearts, a lot of people will just gun it down to the panel and pray that he dies quickly. What I like to do is, normally I don't even call in this early, is I wait. I get shot once, then I call in and go back. Because if you don't, you're going to have issues a lot where TC is not going to show up, player 2 is not going to drop in, and you're going to reset. So if you just are trying to get out of negotiations more often, you should wait. So I'm going to wait for a second, kind of do this, and then now I will start going. Drop out, come back here, and player 2 will respawn. And the reason that is, I have 10 studs. It really doesn't matter that much. I got 10 studs from the left, from the barrier, but that wouldn't normally happen. But it doesn't matter. So the reason why that is because player 2 has to be able to... He has to be respawned before you can call in. So if you just gun it back and drop out as soon as he dies and then try to drop in, of course you can't call in because he's not alive. So that's what you would do, and specifically in that situation in which you have 1 heart on player 1 and 4 hearts on player 2. And now I will try and show you some other scenarios. And let me go get on correct number of hearts. Okay, so let's say you're in this scenario, and player 1 has 4 hearts. Your player 2 heart count in this scenario really doesn't matter as long as your player 2 heart count is not all that important as long as you don't have 3 hearts when you enter the hangar. So if you have 3 hearts at this point, you're usually going to be totally fine because those droids are going to shoot you at least once. But your player 2 heart count really is not all that important. just try not to be at 3 hearts when you're entering the hangar, and if you are, just slash him with player 1. So in this scenario, I have 4 hearts on player 1. Normally, people are going to reset with this heart count, but there is a way that you can minimize that from happening. So basically, you have 2 different options. You can either slash TC14 right on this panel, and then also slash him on the next panel. And the problem with that is you'll have 1 leg, and so your hangar will be a little bit slower, but you'll probably get out of negotiations. Now, your other option is to wait, come over here, build this panel, and I'm going to slash him once. I'm going to slash him once, and now I have 3 hearts as player 1. And what I'm going to do when I enter this hangar is I'm going to take player 1, and I'm going to walk straight into the pack of droids back there and try to take as many hearts of damage as I can. And we'll see if I can get that to work. Okay. So we're going to take player 1, and we're just going to walk straight into this pack of droids back here. And see, I was still able to get him to die. And the reason being is because when you walk into them, they're going to target you, and they're going to leave player 2 alone, first of all. And that's just the most consistent way to take damage with player 1. The only time you don't want to walk into the droids is if you have 1 heart. In that case, you want to kind of stay back a second, and if they get an instant shot off on you, you're probably going to have to reset. But with 3 hearts or 2 hearts, you want to walk straight into them and take that death. And another thing I can go over, I guess, is the redropping. A lot of people have issues with that redropping, and it just has to do with when you drop out. So I don't know if you can see where player 1, about where he was standing when he died. How do I explain this? If you've ever played it, let me think. So basically, when I have 2 players and you're running in opposite directions, sometimes it'll kind of like redrop, and like it'll drop out a player and instantly redrop them in. So basically, if you're far enough apart where that's going to happen and you drop out, you're going to redrop in. So you just need to drop out a little bit earlier than you normally would. So here, I'll tell you what I mean by the triple button, because I'm pretty sure I have to do the triple button. I might not have to, but I'm going to do it just for safety. So we'll come over here. Now, that's what I mean by the triple button, just like that. And then player 1 will show up. So that's basically most of the scenarios. If you think of any more, let me know, and I'll tell you what you should do. Because any other scenario, really, you're just going to play it out basically the way I've showed you. So, like, if you have 3 hearts on player 1, I would slash him at the end of the first room, so he's on 2 hearts. You basically, if player 1's on 4 hearts, you want to slash him. If player 1's on 3 hearts, you want to slash him. If he's on 4 hearts, you can slash him twice, but like I said, TC14 will be on 1 heart or on 1 leg, so your end of the hangar will be a little bit slower, but it's honestly not that big of a deal. For player 2, if he's on 4 hearts at the end of the first room, you want to slash him. If he's on 3 hearts and the droids don't attack him at all entering the hangar, you want to slash him. Anything else, just leave him alone. And again, with the button, if player 2's on 2 hearts, I like to wait a second with player 1 before continuing. Same thing, if he had 3 hearts, I'd wait till he gets shot basically twice before I'd start moving forward with player 1. And this will get you out of negotiations way, way more often. So if you guys have any questions, just ask me. And just know that I'm not even the best at negotiations, so I might have given you guys some bad advice in here. So if you have any questions, yeah, I would ask myself. Zach is also really good at negotiations. Evan's pretty good at negotiations. But yeah,